Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop, brought to you by, of course, our wonderful partners at Coolbet. If you're not yet signed up for an account today, use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up. 100% deposit bonus on initial deposit up to $200. We're in two different situations today. We have had about a foot of snow in the last 24 hours in Edmonton. And what were you just telling me in the peg, Huss?
It is 18 degrees. I just went to Sev wearing shorts, and you can see I'm wearing a golf shirt today. I couldn't not do it. We don't get a lot of weather wins here in the middle of the country, but today, a big W for the W. 18 degrees. It was 19 earlier today, all-time record high. And while you were here in Winnipeg for the BC Bomber game last Friday, I know we're going to get to CFL playoffs in a minute. We've basically had a week of this. It's been absolutely bananas, but we'll take it. It's going to end soon. I'm convinced we're going to have a massive dump probably right before the West Finals. So
I was going to say, is it going to be great at the West Final too? Like -3, no snow or something?
Well, we want to have some snow. I think it'll probably be in the Bombers' benefit, to be honest, to have some snow. But if I know the way things work, it'll be nice. We'll get the big dump probably on Friday. Your flight will probably be affected. It'll be a whole bunch of a pain in the ass for a lot of people, but it will probably end up being that much better of an atmosphere for the West Final. But yeah, crazy weather. I was listening to your show this morning and hearing what everyone was dealing with, and I'm like, look outside. It was already like 13 at 8 in the morning here right now.
Yeah,
so
just insane.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Once every 365 days a year, where Winnipeg's the weather envy of the country. Not normally, but as I said, we will take the win when we can get it.
All right, coming up on this episode of The Lock Shop, we got lots to get to. We're going to give you some Wednesday night puck picks, light card, obviously, in the National Hockey League, World Series action. We might got some NBA picks for you. The return of a little bit of golf. I know Huss has dove into that a little bit as well. If you're watching the live stream, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Just search The Lock Shop on all your podcasting platforms, and be watching The Lock Shop and our social media accounts tomorrow for some huge news as far as Lock Shop YouTube goes. So be ready for that as well. We do have CFL playoffs to get us going. Division semifinals, buddy. And here's where we're at. Couple of games, field goal spread. We're going to ride together on one of them. We're going to go head-to-head on the other, buddy. Let's dive into it. Let's start out in the East.
Yeah, let's go Montreal-Hamilton. This is a really interesting matchup. And, well, I was talking to a couple people on my show. There's a couple guys that think that Hamilton's getting it together at the right time and could actually be in the Grey Cup for a third straight time, maybe for a crack at the Bombers to finally beat them in the big game. I'm really torn on this game. And normally in that situation, I'll just take the underdog. And I totally get why a lot of people are on Hamilton. To me, both of these games are somewhat coin flips. I went back and looked at these games this year. Montreal was 2-1 against the Ticats, and they won one game by one single point. Most recently, they won by 7, I believe. When it comes down to it, I'm giving the nod to the Alouettes for a couple reasons. They're at home. I think they'll have a good home crowd. I think the people will be behind them for this game, as much as that matters in some of the Eastern markets. But listen, outside of Toronto, we have seen some good crowds this year. And I know our pal Gary Stern's firing the people, the locals up to get out there and support the team. Trevor Harris has a great experience in playoff games. And when he's on, he's really good. And he also has maybe the best player in this game, Eugene Lewis.
That's fair.
Big play receiver on the Alouettes side of things. Now, again, still, I really think that this line should be maybe a little shorter, but they're giving the Alouettes, they're essentially saying this game's a pick 'em. Alouettes get the home field, but I just think that the Alouettes are the better team. I'm not convinced that Hamilton's completely turned around everything over the course of the last 4 weeks. They've basically been playing the Ottawa Red Blacks for the last little while. So I'm going to ride with the Alouettes to win and maybe be on a bit of bring some momentum into BMO Field for the East Final on the 13th of November. Tell me why you like the Ticats.
Well, you kind of laid it out for me earlier. I mean, I almost view both of these games as a coin flip. In that situation, I'm going to be on the underdog every single time. So, I mean, I feel a lot better about the Calgary +3. But the Ticats are 5-1 in their last 6 and have wins over Winnipeg and Calgary, who may arguably be the best 2 teams in the league. And they also do have a good chunk of this core that has had playoff success the last 2 years. It's not like this isn't an anti-Montreal pick. You make a very good point. Geno Lewis could very well go off in this game. I did a Ticats game, in Calgary a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was the one that they won. Yeah, it was the one that they won. And their defense, as I was prepping for that game, their defense surprised me. Like, I haven't done many Ticats games this year, and I'm going through their defense, and I'm like, shit, man, on paper, the Ticats defense is pretty good. So I think they could cause some issues. Trevor Harris, as he does, will try to look after the ball, right? Trevor Harris is more of a pick you apart, move down the field, accuracy guy than deep shot guy. So I think Hamilton has a really good shot at winning this thing outright. So I'll take them +3. We've seen so many close games in the Canadian Football League this year. I think heading into last weekend, through 20 weeks, 62% of the games had come down to the final 3 minutes, which is a pretty ridiculous number. So I'll side on a close game here, and I'll take the Tiger Cats +3.
Yeah, that's why we love the CFL. It's always exciting at the end, and I'm just hoping that maybe I agree. I think this will be close. I think this will be exciting in the fourth quarter. I'm just hoping that the Alouettes are maybe able to get themselves in a position where they're winning by more than 3 points, and Hamilton has to go for a touchdown if they're trying to come in there late. But the main event is the game that we've been talking about and knew this was going to happen for a better part of the last couple months. BC Lions, Calgary Stampeders. It's interesting. There's a couple things that I think, BC has to be really excited about. First of all, they're playing at home. Apparently, they've opened up the upper deck for this game, Dusty. I mean, there is going to be I can't say enough about what the Lions have done, how hard they have worked to try to re-engage fans. They started off with that, what was it, the One Direction or One Republic, whatever that show was.
One Republic was there, yeah.
Yeah,
it was good.
And I mean, it was a great way to start off the season. And then you've got Nathan Rourke, was the greatest story in the Canadian Football League this year, back in the lineup last week. Now, I mean, you can speak to what you thought about Nathan Rourke. I mean, I didn't think that he would look as dynamic as he had before, but frankly, it was more a chance to let him get comfortable, get back out, play a little bit, see what he can do and get ready for this game. A healthy Nathan Rourke, as healthy as he's going to be, is a massive, massive boost. I wouldn't have even considered BC before that. But when we're talking about this game, to me, the Calgary Stampeders are going to be a really, really tough out. Their O-line's completely pissed off. Derek Dennis is still going off on Twitter right now about no all-stars from, as he refers to it, the best offensive line in the league. I can guarantee you there's some people here in Winnipeg who dispute that. But regardless, Calgary's an awesome team. Jake Mayer's been good since he's come in, and they do have the best running game in the Canadian Football League with Kadeem Carey. I really want the BC Lions to win this game. Best case scenario for me is BC wins by 1, and I'll win this bet, but BC wins the game. I think having Nathan Rourke in the West Final and having BC come in as opposed to Calgary would just be amazing for the league. And to be honest, Calgary scares the hell out of me as a Bomber fan. I mean, the games were close this year. The Bombers always seem to find a way to win, but man, it's tough to beat a team 3 times. They've already done that. Even harder to beat a very good team 4 times in a row. So we'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to the atmosphere in BC plays for that game. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nathan Rourke can do. And if he's anything close to the Nathan Rourke we saw earlier this season, BC is going to have a great chance to win. All that being said, I think at Calgary at +3, I might consider BC if you gave me a pick'em, which is, to be honest, what I sort of think this line should be. But as of right now, it really hasn't moved off 3. You're laying a little bit more juice with Calgary at -118. But I do think Calgary, you have to take the Stamps when you're getting 3 points in this situation.
Yeah, I thought this game, I mean, I'd have it as a pick'em. I thought it might be 1.5 just because the Lions are at home. But 3's just, it's too much to pass up on the Calgary Stampeders team. Like, this game, to me, comes down to BC should have the advantage in the passing game, not just Nathan Rourke. And Rourke last game, he looked like a guy who hadn't played in, but looked like a preseason game, essentially, for Nathan Rourke. I thought his decision-making was on point. He missed on a couple of deep shots that I think were just straight up rust. He just didn't put enough air under it to get it deep enough. He'll be fine. They've got an advantage at the receiver position. I mean, Keon Hatcher, 1,000 yards. Lucky Whitehead, injured, still 1,000 yards. Dominique Rhymes, over 1,400 yards or whatever it was, and second in the league in touchdowns. And they're getting Brian Burnham back. So, Nathan Rourke's got no shortage of options there. Calgary has a significant advantage in the run game. I know James Butler went off for 1,000 yards, but whoever Calgary starts at running back averages 6 yards per carry. Peyton Logan, over 6 yards per carry. Kadeem Carey led the league in rushing, over 6 yards per carry. Dedrick Mills, every time he started a game, 100-yard game, over 6 yards per carry. The Calgary offensive line is very good. Now, it doesn't have Derek Dennis, which hurts them. But they've done an okay job filling that spot so far. Does that change with Boom Gwacham coming off the end? Maybe. But they allowed less than a sack per game, which is insane. And they led the league in rushing, and they just put up over 500 yards rushing against a garbage Riders team over the last 2 weeks. So I do think Calgary has a significant advantage there. To me, this comes down to the offensive line on both sides. I think Calgary's defensive line may be the best in the league as well. Rimalade's a monster. Lemon had a huge season. Mike Rose had 7 sacks in the interior this year, which was huge. So I think they'll cause some issues. So I think it comes down to the line and then Jake Maier's decision-making. Jake Maier cannot turn the ball over. BC's defense, it might not be as dominant. Well, actually, from rushing the passer perspective, Matthew Betts had 8 sacks or whatever it was. Menard had a bunch of sacks. Both of these teams, I think they're actually 1-2 in sacks this season, or 1-3 or something like that. So the pressure might be there. I think if Jake Maier looks after the football, I think Calgary probably ends up winning this football game. So I'll take the Stamps at +3, but this should be a phenomenal game. And I definitely don't want to count Nathan Rourke out. I mean, Rourke could go for 480 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Who knows? This game, I did a BC Lions podcast yesterday. This game sets up potentially to be an all-time CFL classic. I cannot wait for this football game. Yeah, this is going to be good.
No, I agreed. Yeah, that was good. You're on with our old pal Nick and Bake's Takes.
Yeah.
Those guys are fired up, and they want to get back to Winnipeg. They were just here, and they were like, hey, hopefully we'll see you guys on the 13th. But they know they've got a big, big challenge going up against the Calgary Stampeders. But, hey, that home field could be a factor. And I think at least Nathan Rourke's going to be a place where he's comfortable. I think you've got the best shot. And this is why getting home field was so important for BC. Best chance to get the closest to the best of Nathan Rourke if he's coming back without a lot of time beforehand, playing at home. Very different story if it's here in the ice and cold in a couple weeks in November. But
and how about Sarah McLachlan to do the anthem? And then Stephen Page from the Bare Naked Ladies playing at halftime at BC Place. So it'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Are they available 2 weeks later for Regina?
You'll get some news on halftime shortly. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, I think we'll get something in a little bit. Have to. I mean, you have to at this point. So, all right, there you go. So that's where we're at this week. We're both on the Stamps +3. I'm on the Ticats +3. Huss is on the Alouettes -3 at home. Let's slide over to some puck picks tonight. Light night in the National Hockey League. I'll bang out mine. Austin Matthews' goal tonight. Last year, you would have never got Austin Matthews at -109 for a goal. But that's where it's at right now. He only has 3 so far. So I think tonight's the night. There's a lot of pressure on the Toronto Maple Leafs to go out and get one against the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. I know Mitch Marner's been taking a ton of criticism, but Austin Matthews needs to start scoring goals at the pace that he scored goals at last year, and he hasn't so far. So this might be the last time this season you see Austin Matthews at -109 for a goal. So I'm going to take that tonight, Huss.
It's not just like a goal. It's like going up against the Philadelphia Flyers, who played last night with their backup goalie in. Carter Hart's been amazing. It's not Carter Hart tonight. It's Felix Sandstrom. Or sorry, Sandstrom. I misread that. No. Yeah. The Sandstorm is starting. Listen, I don't mind that at all. Matthews is so due right now. And there's actually a juicy Coolbet daily exclusive And Jake, I don't know where he's coming up with these names for it, but this is a beautiful
What did he
one.
do
If
now?
you like Dusty's Matthews pick, you can get plus 190 on the Matthews goal, Marner to record 2 or more points, and the Leafs to win. That's at plus 190. So that's there in the exclusives. But I'm cooking up something in the exclusives, which I'll tell you about in a minute. My play of the day, and I put this out with our Coolbet pick on the Coolbet social channels earlier today, is the Buffalo Sabres money line. Now, when I made the pick and sent it into the lock shop, they were plus 110. I'm not sure whether word is out that it is the daily play or what, but the number's gone down a little bit. Right now, even money on the Buffalo Sabres, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are minus 118. Buffalo is red hot right now. Well, Tage Thompson is red hot right now. Had 6 points in his last game, a hat trick and 3 assists. I think he was something like 57 points on DraftKings. And in his last 2 games, 5 goals and 4 assists. Eric Comrie's had a nice start to the season. Did get roughed up a little bit in Seattle after winning those games out in Western Canada. But there's a great vibe around the Sabres right now. They're back at home. They'll look to build on their record and off of what they were able to do on the road. And they've got the Pittsburgh Penguins coming in. Now, this is a really tough spot for the Penguins. This is part of the reason why I kind of thought that Buffalo, I really like the number on Buffalo because I thought that if anything, this might be a pick 'em. Pittsburgh played last night, and they didn't just play last night. They completely collapsed in the third period, blowing a 5-2 lead and ending up losing to the Boston Bruins 6-5. The other thing is Tristan Jarry won't be going. It'll be the backup Casey DeSmith in net for Pittsburgh. So I think this is a really tough spot for the Penguins. And I think the Buffalo Sabres have the mojo and the momentum right now, not to mention the hottest player, not named McDavid, in the National Hockey League in Tage Thompson. So give me the Sabres right now, even money, plus 100. But we talked about those other picks. Well, you know what? We'll save the exclusive for you because we are going to hit the World Series. And just a bit of a tease, my exclusive is around the dial. It's got the Sabres, a World Series pick, and a hoops play for tonight. 3-1, 3 different sports. But we got a huge game tonight.
Yeah.
Huge game tonight, man. And this is it. Like, if you think Philly is going to win this series, I think they really need to get this one tonight. I mean, I'm well stated. I'm on the Astros for the series. The minus 1.5 is looking a little ugly right now, but we have got in. I got in a plus 105 after they lost game 1. They're plus 130 right now to win the series, which I think is still relatively good value. But man, there's a lot of magic going on in Philly right now. My bet tonight, though, is the Astros. You've got Javier on the mound. In his last 5 games, he has 1 earned run in 23 pitches. He has been absolutely out of his mind. And let's not forget how the Phillies roughed up Aaron Nola in game number 1 before Justin Verlander blew that 5-0 lead. So I think it all sets up, and Houston's also a veteran team. They know the situation they're in. They got to have this one tonight. Very close to a pick 'em. Houston's at minus 109, but I'm going to take the Astros, the road team, to tie this one up tonight, get it to 2-2, and make it a best of 3 for the biggest prize in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I like your Astros play. I'm going to get on the under in this one. Great pitching matchup tonight. And you said it, man. How important is this game? I mean, everybody is going to be on tonight. I think it's going to be a nail biter. And I love both guys pitching tonight. You just laid out, obviously, one side of it, and then Nola on the other side's an absolute monster as well. So, yeah, I'm on the under 7. It's at 7.5 right now. So I'm going to be under 7.5 in this game, and looking forward to it. Philly was freaking rocking last night. My goodness, did that look amazing. Holy smokes.
Well, that is, those 2 of the home runs registered on the seismic chart.
Yeah, which is insane.
University of Pennsylvania. Basically, it was so loud, like the earth was literally shaking when they went. Bryce Harper's been amazing. I just think that Javier, the way that he has been pitching, how badly his team needs it, their pedigree for coming up big in these situations. I'm going to take the Astros to tie this up, which brings me to our Coolbet Daily exclusive. So I've already told you that I like the Astros in the game. Our daily pick, and there's only 2 hockey games, and I wasn't going to go with a minus 333 on the Leafs. So we've got the Buffalo Sabres on that pool as well. And I couldn't help but kind of shake my head at why the Jazz at 6-2 were 6-point underdogs in Dallas against the Mavericks. Now, Luka went crazy. I think he had 44 in his last game and a win. But if you look at the Mavs this year, they're like a really inconsistent team. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. And the Jazz have been a team that I know a lot of people expected to flounder this year, but no one seemed to tell them that. I think they can hang in this game, absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised if they can win this game. So they've actually got it up. The number was originally 6. You don't want to have a even number on it. So Jake's kindly put that number up to 6.5 for the exclusive. So plus 700 is the number. Sabres money line, Astros money line, Jazz plus 6.5 in Dallas. 7-1 is the number. That, friends, is at the Coolbet Daily Exclusives left margin when you go to coolbet.com.
I got one NBA play for tonight, and it's going to be a player prop. I'm going to go Ja Morant over 30.5 points tonight. I mean, we know he's capable of doing this in his sleep. I think he's done it 4 times the last 6. But the Grizzlies are coming off back-to-back losses to the Utah Jazz. Now they get, which I mean, the Jazz have had a phenomenal start for a team that's supposed to be tanking. But they've come on back-to-back losses to the Utah Jazz. They get the Trailblazers tonight, and the Trailblazers will not have Damian Lillard. So this is a chance for Ja Morant to put this team on his back and drop a bomb on the Trailblazers tonight. So I like Ja Morant over 30.5 points tonight. Yeah, I really like that one. I kind of dove through. It's a busy schedule in the NBA tonight. I looked at dabbling in my Lakers again. I was like, not tonight. I think Ja Morant's set up to get his team back in the win column tonight, and he's doing it against opposition that doesn't have Dame Lillard. So I'm going to put the spotlight on Ja Morant tonight over 30.5.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'll be cheering on the Jazz, who were supposed to be the lottery team. Haven't looked like it so far, and they've got all those picks as well from all the trades that they made. But we'll see it. Hopefully we can round the bases and hit the hat trick with the 3-sport parlay. Do want to grab in a quick golf pick.
Yes.
It is the Worldwide Technologies Championship at Mayakoba. It's a really cool golf course with some pretty treacherous spots and some beautiful geography. We've got a pretty half-decent field for this one. Scotty Scheffler was 10-1. He's now the favorite at plus 950. You've got Vic Hovland at 12-1. Morikawa, Tony Finau, 17-1. Billy Ho, Aaron Wise at 20-1. I'm not going hard on this tournament, but hey, for the first opportunity of the new year, I get a chance to back my guy, Tony Finau. So we're putting a little bit wager down on Finau at 17-1. He's had a great last month or so. Surprised his kids. They thought they were going roller skating, get on the plane, week at Disney World. So he's had a lot of great family time. And knowing the great high-quality family man that Tony Finau is, that is going to power him to just a great mind. His mind's going to be in a great spot going to Mayakoba. And listen, when he's on, he's as good as anyone. So a season opening sprinkle on Tony Finau, 17-1. But if you do want to dive a little bit more into the Mayakoba, all the golf odds are there at Coolbet. And they've got some first-round leaders. That might be an interesting thing to play a few long shots. I know a couple guys that have been good lately. Thomas Detry's 40-1. He was great last week. So anyways, it's all there for you. Seamus Power just won that last event in Bermuda. He's 40-1 right now. So I know we usually don't get too much into golf until after January when we start to get the Hawaii tournaments and then the Florida swing. But let's get on it right now. And Tony had a couple nice wins at the end of the season. Why not right out of the gate at Mayakoba.
Just right out of the gate, right back on the Tony Finau horse. You have to respect that. You simply have to respect it. I was kind of just looking quickly. I didn't have a pick to win it, but you look at the top end guys here, Vic Hovland and Scotty Scheffler and stuff, and just to finish in the top 10 in a field that isn't insanely strong, you get like plus 160, plus 180 type of thing. So I might go dabble in some top 10s and top 5s actually with some of those top end guys. And I think Adam Hadwin's like plus 500 for top 10 or something like that. So I might go dive into some top 5s and top 10s, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Hadwin actually plus 65 to 1 for the event, 11 to 1 top 5, 5 to 1 top 10. I don't mind that. He's been on daddy duty. He probably is fired up to get back out to the course right now. So anyways, this will be very light sprinkles, but that'll be good to see what the PGA Tour has. Nice to see some of the top players coming back after most of them have pretty much shut it down for the better part of the last 4 to 6 weeks.
There you go. That's a jam-packed episode of The Lock Shop for you today. Once again, if you've been watching, subscribe to the podcast. Just search The Lock Shop on all your podcasting platforms. And as we mentioned, watch our social media accounts on Thursday for some big news for The Lock Shop. Should be fun. We'll also have, of course, a Thursday Night Football episode for you tomorrow as well. So we got lots on the go with The Lock Shop and our great partners over at Coolbet. Huss, enjoy busy night in the world of sports. Late night in the National Hockey League, but lots to watch tonight, buddy. So enjoy it.
Absolutely. Go Stros. Let's get this to a best of 3.